Hello, happy Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, 2022. I forgot yesterday was May 4th, and somebody said, May the 4th be with you, and I started thinking about Star Wars, and when I did the little clip, I used a segment that I looked up Jaws. Anyway, but yes, I love, how do you pronounce that? Orchestral music. I love that. But right now I'm just eating my oatmeal. I'm gonna go inside of Kohl's and wander around. No, I don't have any life like that. I just got up and brushed my teeth at approximately 7 this morning because I decided to go straight to sleep after I had moved my vehicle. And after the gym of showering up. I haven't worked out. And my ankles show it because they're extremely swollen. Here, get my foot up here. Oh yeah, that's some swelling going on there. But yeah. So today has been okay. I had somebody say something about AP made a documentary. I don't know who AP is, and they don't matter to me whatsoever. So whatever abbreviation that is for any kind of nonsense, that's probably, I don't know, maybe ass penetrator. That's all I can think about. Or something like that. Or, let's see, what's a good one? I'll think of something really good next time. I don't really care. And you can't have a documentary if you're not actually going straight to the source. So the fact of it is that nobody can defile my character. No one. There are too many documents proving that I don't tell lies unless I clarify they were a lie, obviously. So everything has to have documents and proof. And just because they find criminal records, I've already disclosed those criminal records are from a time when I was messed up on a bunch of psychiatric medications. So you can't really tie me to all of that. And that's kind of funny that people try to. That's how people get away with murder, committing murder, because they end up on a bunch of stuff and then they have a really good attorney and oops, God told me to do it, you know? There's really not, in those Simple Truth brand with the probiotics, they don't really give you a whole lot to eat. It's so sad, like it's just a tiny amount. And I mean, it's still well worth it, but, and it is tasty. Although I prefer the vanilla almond. I love you too. Aw, hi, I love you. Someone said I love you. I love you too. But yeah, I don't know why people have to pick on me so much. What's the point of that? Like, I'm nobody, and I'm nothing special. Maybe if I had something, and that's why I just chalk it up to jealousies. They see me happy, and that's all they want is to destroy my happiness within those instances. But you can't. Like I said, there's a huge difference when people externally get involved, and their comments don't really matter to me. But then when I get involved with someone individually and they lie to my face, that is horrifying for them because of the amount of karma that they're going to receive for not being genuine toward me or transparent like I am. So that's why you have to be kind of weary when you're dealing with random people, because you don't know how spiritual they are or how much they've got backing them in that way of the energy. So I know that like today I woke up super positive, very happy. Yesterday not so much, but that's just because there are a lot of, jealousies and hatred toward people, and some of us that are really empathic can feel it. So even when I posted that comment about deadbeat dad, I'm sure that hurt some people to realize the truth. And it's like, well, I don't see him next to me. All I see next to me is my own stuff, my vehicle, or so everyone says, which I don't really understand about the whole owning things. But I mean, I do and I don't. But in this realm, I don't know why people go around like claiming, oh, this is mine, the earth is mine, the oxygen in this vicinity is mine. Like, greedy much? Are you okay? Like, are you okay? You know that mentality is not going to get you far, especially on the other any energy fields. And now that they've actually proven that these different dimensions exist, then they're horrified because they're thinking, oh shit, what have I been doing? Why do I keep persecuting and ostracizing and discriminating against others and all this stuff? Because it all comes back around. That energy, that dark energy toward others. I can understand having dark energy toward myself because I always want to better myself, but at the same time I don't, because you really shouldn't have that either. So that's why I always get super confused in this day and age, like just existing, because I don't know, I guess some things don't make sense, because it's kind of like, imagine coming to this earth for the first time, right? Like you're an alien, okay? And you're trapped in a body everybody sees is normal to them, but it's kind of like those changelings, where in actuality, or not really a changeling, I've been told that I was kind of like a changeling for for having transformed my body and everything. Most people don't even realize those old photos are the same person. They think it's my sister, and I'm like, no, my sister doesn't look anything like me. And I used to take a lot of offense to things because new people, they didn't know me personally, they didn't know my story. But then when I was on a bunch of psychiatric medications, I thought everybody knew my story and everybody, was just trying to get at me. That's why I have a lot of sympathy for people that have gone through that. It's not good to have those harbored paranoias, and it's not good to have that resentment toward yourself and others because you can't understand what's going on. I feel so sorry for people with dementia and everything too. I couldn't imagine, but then I can imagine because I have lived through that, where it's like, it's been very scary coming in and out of consciousness and becoming more self-aware. But like I've said before, it had a lot to do with the foods I was putting into my body. A lot of, the lethargy I allowed to consume me, where I just laid around and was toxic to myself because I didn't want to incorporate activity, which, sometimes when I would dance in my home, I would set off this fire alarm because I was exuding so much heat. So that's why I thought, this is really odd, the fact that our bodies are energy and how it interacts with the electronics and the energy around us and the frequencies. So years ago, I started delving into that. And then I met my psychologist, and he was helpful in the sense that the 80-year-old man, he was helpful to help me acknowledge that, yes, this is true. These are all true facts. I just had it sort of in a simplified terms and imagery for myself, where I would relay everything to like biblical terms and talk about demons and angels and such. And people don't realize that I don't just mean that. I also mean scientifically that there is proven, the energy, the frequencies, the differences in demeanor, whatever. That's why I wanted to write a novel about it. Because I see demons inside of people all the time, which is really weird. I know that sounds weird. But that's just how it is. Like, you can sort of see when people are being toxic, and you can sort of see when they have harbored resentments toward the world around them, and those are demons to me. So, and sometimes it can be exposed like externally in the body, like, you know, and internally you see a lot of ailments due to a lot of these things, a lot of the demons that I talk about. So I told my brother, he was talking about, oh, look, is she talking crazy about spirits and this and that? And I was like, because I was telling him about the trickster spirits that move things around. And like, I know that sounds really weird, but people have had that happen where something ends up in a different location and all of a sudden they're like, no, there's no plausible way. That absolutely was there. And I kept telling my brother about these things and how he was going down the dark path, that he, you know, that he was still consumed by evil. And I could just see it. It was exuding. It was just seeping off of him. So the more that I was around these individuals, the more that I was absorbing this type of negative energy and offering that back to the world. And I decided I was just going to go with what energy I have myself, which is generally positive, generally trying to be helpful. So I see it as, okay, I have to have that balance of accosting people after they've harassed me. Even the people that, you know, say they loved me, they didn't fully love me. We always had issues. So because they had, you know, they were very narcissistic and didn't want to see it from my perspective in the slightest, because I was either a girl, I was either the child, I was either, you know, a young lady, I was, you know, I didn't finish college, I didn't have any certifications, I didn't have anything, I'm not a wife, I'm, you know, barely a mother. And so like the weirdest thing is that people try to rip me down and they can't, because I know what happened during that divorce and it was not fair. And anybody waking up from those circumstances would know that's horrific, to have the loves of your life just ripped away from you. During all these years where I was trying to preach out, seek out help, nobody wanted to do it because everyone wanted to harbor their skills and talents, you know, being a lawyer, being a doctor, being all these people, right? They wanted to keep it to themselves, and they didn't want to stick up for someone like me or try to offer me any type of free assistance, because it wasn't part of their journey in this realm. They're seeking money. That's fine. You know, it ends up scarring you later on. But people had told me, why don't you seek like ad litem for your daughter? And I was like, well, you think that they would understand? I would love to do that. I would love to go through all those court proceedings, yada, yada, yada. Not really. That's bullshit to me. She was mine. God gave her to me. And also, too, I never hurt that baby. So the fact that I'm not getting alimony at this time, the fact that my ex-husband was doing crazy things I didn't approve of with my child, that's what causes me to flip out. That's what causes me to have these bouts of, you know, verbal aggression toward everyone else, because they don't understand my full story. They don't understand that I'm struggling. I want to get back to my child. I don't have the finances for it. So that's the weirdest part, is that when I was making the finances, nobody listened either way. And I had to place more money into it, thousands and thousands of dollars that I didn't have either. So when I would ask people for help, they didn't want to help. Even my own family members. My parents put thousands and thousands of dollars into keeping my felon brother out of prison again for child molestation, than to try to offer that money to their daughter who lost their child through just nefarious means. It wasn't even on her fault. But they've always said that it was me because I didn't kiss his ass enough, my ex-husband. I didn't suck his dick enough. You ask him, he got plenty of that, all right? So all I'm saying is that I was a good person. I did what was right by other people, or so I thought, and they've just screwed me over, and I'm just sick of it. So that's why I started vlogging, because I was like, my words do matter. And to a lot of other women that have gone through these same circumstances, they know exactly what I'm talking about. They know about the gaslighting. They know about the manipulation. They know about their mothers and, you know, whatever this and that, denial from the generations prior, that they have any psychological issues whatsoever. If you're denying that you have any, that means you are clearly deranged. You are clearly mentally ill. So the fact that I own up to my mental illnesses, people are like, oh, obviously that's why I don't. No, that's not why I don't have my child. It's not because I collect disability. It's not because of any of these issues or that I smoke weed, even on camera while pregnant. None of it. It's none of that. I didn't do that when I was with my daughter. Like, I stopped immediately. Maybe that's why she's dumb. Maybe that's why she ended up being dumb like her father, because she went off and had a different life with some dumb cunt of a stepmom. All right? There's the difference. So the fact that I state these things, they're proof. I mean, they're proof that I'm a good person and I've had enough. I've had a fucking up to here. Because my daughter should have been placed in private school. Try to tell everybody that's what I wanted, that's what I demanded. If I was going to have birth, give birth to this child, I wanted certain rules and regulations to be followed. They didn't want that. They wanted to go the route of whatever nonsense and trash, white trash they wanted to be. And that's fine. I don't care. But now my daughter's white trash, and that's okay. And also too, I was trying not to be white trash myself. That's why I would rather live in my car where everything is cleanly and organized. Like, I just spent about 20-30 minutes rearranging my belongings so everything is in its place and everything is as clean as possible, and so that I don't have weird smells. I had some food packaging that I had in here and an old yogurt, and I was like, this smells terrible in here. What did you leave behind? And it was because of the depression I was suffering the last, few weeks and everything. And even when people are excited and they go off and they do exciting things throughout their depression, they get overwhelmed in that sense of like consumed by another thought. And that's what happens with me, slightly like ADHD, right? Obviously, like ADHD. So, and when I'm off weed and everything, I just end up bitchy and crying, because I can't handle it. I cannot handle the world around me. It's insane. Nobody does their jobs properly, and nobody, just puts the effort into other individuals. They would rather place the effort into themselves and their loved ones, their family, whatever. And I'm like, wow, you're so self-absorbed. You think that, oh, God's gonna definitely bless you when you die. And I'm like, no, you never learned your lessons. That's why a majority of people on their deathbed, like, I should have offered back more. Yeah, you should have. Because selfish and greedy people don't get by in the world like that. That's why even me eating all that, it's not that selfish. I hardly ever got to eat anything like that growing up. My parents didn't allot us more than Taco Bell and McDonald's. So this is my time to shine. It's my time to do what I need to do before I pass away or cause another fucking suicide attempt because of everyone else. Like, why? Why is it not everyone else's fault? We have stories online all the time about bullies, attacking kids, and they end up going and killing themselves. It is directly the bully's fault. And they will always harbor that resentment toward themselves, because they should. Because they're the ones that caused someone else to self-harm, because they couldn't keep their opinions and jealousies to themselves. So, and go off and live a life instead of harassing other people. So everyone thought I harassed my ex-husband. I want nothing to do with that person. He's sick. He's mentally ill. He is very, very sick. And when I was sick on my medications, I thought he was the world to me. I thought I needed him to get back to my daughter. No, not at all, not in the slightest. That man should not have custody of that kid right now. Let's be completely honest here. If my daughter would have been with me and I would have had my home, she would have progressed better. She would have had, private schooling. She would have had higher education through me as well, through the little bits of knowledge that I know. Plus, she would have had a very well-rounded schedule, because I made sure that she had everything she needed throughout a day's time, whether or not that was activity, even physical activity. We went to the parks together. No. So I just don't understand where everyone is trying to make me look like the bad guy. And in actuality, it's the people in my story that I've conveyed, and you're not exposing them. No, you want to see how far it'll take me to either lie about this stuff or to say I'm lying about it, which I'm not. Also, and I'm not whatsoever. There's a few things that I have disclosed throughout my videos that aren't necessarily factual. I'm gonna say that. But I want to see what other people have to say about these issues too, because obviously they're not actually engaging with the entire story. Okay? That's where they're stupid. Obviously, and I pray about this. I pray about their stupidity all the time, and how I hope that they get over it and that they learn and they can evolve, but most people don't. They're only seeing fragments, especially what these bullies want others to convey, or to perceive. I'm sorry, they convey the toxic things and expose that to publicize for themselves. Somebody said that I could get monetary gain through my videos. I wasn't seeking that. You know what I was seeking in life? For people to do the right thing. For people to go back and retract their words, and retract their actions, because they realize finally that they did wrong and they hurt another individual, and that will scar them and their children for the rest of their lives. So, and I just don't understand it. I've tried to disclose this in many different formats where it's like, okay, karma, you don't believe you need to worry about me. I'm just some homeless girl. I'm just Leticia. I'm just Leticia Servin. I don't, Collins Servin. Legally, it's Collins. So, I feel like people don't understand. They don't engage from the entire storyline. They don't understand that I've been traumatized, that I've been abused, and those things that I said I did when I acted out, they can't even be proven to you guys. Those things may be lies. They may have never happened. Yet you want to make sure that everyone believes from your perspective that you're in the right. And you're not. You're completely in the wrong. And that's the sad part, is that you're harassing someone you didn't know. And you didn't know was so talented and so articulate and could bash you with anything you throw at me. That's why the commentary is hilarious to me. I wish I could keep it up, but it's too time consuming. The energy is not there for me. The negative energy, not there. That's why I just delete, because your reality means nothing to me. And it means nothing to people that progress. It means nothing to people that are actually sane and stable. So, although I'm disabled, I'm not mentally ill in that way. I'm disabled due to the emotional trauma, and I deserve to be paid for it. And I deserve to be paid more than I've been allotted, because I've had to deal with numerous bouts of trauma. Not even through just my family, not through my relatives or any of that, but through the systems, the judicial systems, the government affiliations, all that, all the systems, the doctors, the psychiatric hospitals, these officers that, chose to do wrong by me instead of stepping up and honoring the word that they the words that they pledged an oath to save civilians and to help them. But they're very cliquey. I spit a little. Cliquey in the sense that nepotism is everywhere. And if you are not part of their clique, if you are not part of their team, if you are not part of their payroll, they will not offer you the assistance that you require, because you are not making anything for the U.S. government. You are taking it from it. And they want to make sure to weed those people out and kill them off and their offspring. Because if you're not placing enough effort, then you're worthless. You have no monetary value to them. And that's all this is about. Monetary value gains for everyone. So what do I have to offer to the world? My true story. That's it. I told everyone. I I told them that years ago. You have no idea who you're dealing with. That's why I specifically lost all that weight and continually started working on myself, because I knew how to do it. And I knew how to do it on the low income means that I had. Although now that I'm pregnant, I need help from the community. I need help from other godly people to offer me those donations, to help me through, to help me pay my car payment, to help me, stabilize myself so I can have a home for this child. And even if I don't have a physical home for this child, that doesn't mean that this child's going to be neglected or harmed or anything just because it doesn't have a stable roof over its head. Living in a vehicle, transient life is all over the place, and people get away with it all the time. So there's no way anybody's going to steal this baby from me when I leave the hospital. Let's just clarify that. I even have friends that have said, if you need a ride to the hospital, and who's to say I won't give birth at one of these facilities I haven't been to yet, so they don't know I'm homeless, and they let me just bounce right out of there with my little baby boy. So that's crazy that people don't want to actually help. I did get an offer, some lady in Texas, to let me go and stay with her and her husband, but it makes me weary. It makes me scared to meet people online, because all the times where these men had told me, yeah, you're safe with me, yeah, let's start a relationship, yeah, that's what I'm looking for is a, long term, and they will assault you. And they will also lure you into a state where you offer yourself physically, and then immediately they retract their statements. And that is gaslighting. That is demonic. It's not a lady's fault that she fell for these ploys, and men are made of demon seed. It's just what it is. Satan's offspring. And it's the weirdest thing is because I don't want to place men and women apart from one another, because some women have these tendencies as well. But men that I've encountered are lacking integrity. And the man that is the father of this child especially, because I would have gone so long without making these videos. I didn't want to publicize things unless I truly finished something that I felt was an accomplishment and admirable to others, like my weight loss journey. But I had nowhere else to go. I had no one else to turn to. There were no therapists, there were no doctors, there were no, safe havens, there were no sanctuaries, there were no domestic violence shelters. They all just retracted their statements like a man. So that's where I tell people, this is from my perspective. If you can't handle it, go somewhere else. If you want somebody else's opinion, go find somebody. Quit trying to sway me to believe that men aren't demons and men aren't monsters, because that's all I've seen so far. That's all I've engaged with. So I don't know what to tell you people. If you believe that I should go around wearing some kind of, what are they called? Like a burqa or whatever, and you think that I should just fall by the wayside and let you rule everything, no. That's why I'm going to clarify. I'm going to look hot some days. I'm going to look trash some days. Like a hot mess. It doesn't matter. But I'm still the same individual. So the fact that other people harbor resentment when I look like poop, that's hilarious. Because they look like poop for not knowing that I'm better than them in that way. I don't care what other people's opinions are, and that's why I wear pajamas going to Walmart, pajamas going to the gym, pajamas going shopping at fancy stores. What? Don't come up to me and act like I'm about to steal something either. It's just my frame of mind for the day, and it's generally depressed until I have some reason to not be depressed. If I had my daughter around me, I wouldn't be nearly as depressed. When I was going through the divorce and everything, all I did was sit and sleep. When my ex-husband would get home and he caught me sleeping and stuff, I'm sure he tried to tell everyone, this is all she does with her No. People are crazy. I'm not going to defend myself anymore in that way. Everyone should know me by now. Everybody should know what my temperament is like, my character, my personality from these videos. So that's why I wanted to disclose it. Eventually people will get to know me. Eventually people will stand up for me because they understand that I was abused. I was manipulated, and I trusted the words of the devil. And all these people worship the devil. You can't tell me otherwise either, because they haven't done anything to repent or to make amends for the pain and suffering that they've caused me. That's why I tell everybody about compensation. At least if I had the financial support. That's why I kept my mouth shut about stuff. I was fine. I didn't say anything. That's why there were no videos years ago. That's why you know that this is a true story, because finally I've snapped and I was like, okay, I'm going to share this before it's ready. So, yep. Today's a rainy day. The only thing I'm truly upset about is the fact that I don't have proper shoes to go in and out of the rain. So I either have to place my tennis shoes on. I don't want to, because they're too constrictive for my ankles and heels and stuff, which I should do because it would be beneficial, that, constricting them, at least for a little while. My flats would get super wet. I'm destroying my flats right now. The little ballet slipper style flats. I've got my boots. I guess I could wear my boots in there, my winter boots that I got for $10. But, and, it's not even that I'm trying to act like I'm better than anybody. All I want is for them to see the things that I see and how to afford in this world. How to survive in this world. Especially if you don't come from anybody or anything. And I'm blessed that I have disability allotment. Believe me, I know. I thank God every day for that. I thank God for every day for the water that I get to drink, the fresh water. I thank God every day for the showers that I receive. I was so ungrateful when I was on those psychiatric medications. So ungrateful, so greedy. I needed to fall into this place of homelessness, of destitution, to understand that there's so much more around us. There is so much vibrancy, love around us, and if we just care to look, it's there. And the little things are what really truly matter the most. And the little things are maintaining your overall, and I tell everyone, your temple. This is your temple. You carry it with you everywhere. This is your sanctuary. In here. In your body. This. Your consciousness. Everything. So there are times where I will detach and everything like that. And I go within. And that's how I protect myself now. And that's how I manage so well. Because I realize, okay, Leticia, what do you really need? Okay, you just need some water. Okay, you just need some rest. Take some naps. You just need some food. You need, a certain amount of activity. You need to, taking care of a pet. You need to brush your teeth. You've got to shower. Do these things. And a lot of people neglect these little things. They neglect filing their nails. They neglect, trimming their nails. They neglect, wiping out the insides and outsides of their ears, where they don't realize we're going in and out of polluted areas all the time. That goes into our orifices. That stays there. And that's why people end up with these ear problems, all these different, because particles get lodged in there and whatnot. But yeah, and it's all connected. All of our, our energy source is through all these orifices. So that's how our body maintains. That is our mechanism. That is our machine, okay? So our temple is our machine, and that keeps us going. So all of these, as a sort of analogies for this. And I do know I need to start reading more. I was playing some Sudoku a little while ago as my stuff was charging, and I managed to do an expert level 8 minutes. So I tried it again, 6 minutes. I was just elated. That's half the time that it normally takes me, approximately 11, 12 minutes. But that's because of the fact that I'm starting to engage with the patterns. So I'm starting to recognize and remember these patterns on some of these boards and use them as I'm going through and rationalizing where they should be placed, the numbers, so they coincide, you know, so they don't all, you know, end up all jacked up. So I was doing that earlier. Just had my oatmeal. Then so like I just do things one at a time. I do things momentary, you know, every moment at a time. So everything is momentary for me as well when it comes to my emotions. If you're gonna piss me off and I flip the fuck out, that's because of the circumstances. That's because of the situation. Do not tell me that I'm bipolar because I have emotions, strong emotions toward things. Quit telling children that they need to be shut up and put on medication because they're too flamboyant, or they're too vocal, or they're too you know, aggressive, because that's when we classify these kids as autistic, and then they end up scarred because they have a name for it, and they think that they're the issue. No, they're not the issue. We're the issue for not learning to engage with everyone on a personal level. That's why I like to openly communicate. I wish I knew more dialects so that I could get down on people's level and, you know, understand them from that. If I could be some type of translator, I would definitely do that. You know, I just feel like that is like a linguist would be something I'm very interested in. And like, people have heard me do my British accent, and some days it comes off fairly well, and then other days it just is, depending on what I need to say, I don't really recall what I need to convey. And even this morning, before I went to go get my oatmeal, I went to the gas station, and I went to go get my water, the hot water. Wait, see the pronunciation, I've got to get that right. And I noticed I had an envelope that I needed to mail out. It was for my insurances. And I noticed a postal man, or his truck, mind you, parked outside of the gas station. So when I went inside, I thought, please God, let me run into him so I can ask him where I can drop this letter off properly. And I asked him, and he said, well, I can take it for you. And I said, are you sure? Thank you. I said I would love that. And he waited. I gave him my letter, and he left. And I said, have a lovely day. So if I were to be able to go around with my certain accents, people wouldn't even know where I was from. It depends. Sometimes I'm very quiet, and I know that I can sort of fit in different environments without being noticed, although I am always noticed, sort of, especially if people know me on a personal level, and then they realize all these varying talents that I have. And it's funny to me. It's just funny. Like, I just wish that I could learn more. I wish I could do more. But what have I been done? Or, you know, what has happened to me? I was trapped in my home. I had agoraphobia. And then after that, I ended up homeless. I couldn't manage. I didn't know what money was. I did, but I just didn't understand the concept behind it. It was very, very discouraging, and it's been discouraging. All I want is a home. All I want is a proper place to maintain my body, my temple, my mechanism for life, my life force. It just seems as though it's depleting itself, and I can't manage because all of these individuals want to strike me down, and I don't understand. I just don't understand. Where do these individuals get this nonsense from? They don't know me personally. They haven't come in contact with me face to face. And how is it that they have such slanderous things to say? I don't understand it. It's completely horrifying. Do they not understand that they look terrible themselves? I suppose not. And that's why they do these things, because they can't understand their own lives. So they start to compete with others and pull up their own jealousies toward what they say. And believe me, I've done a fair share of my own. I've done it on my own many times. And it was very, very discouraging to myself as well to wake up and realize, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have said those things. It was all the psychiatric medication. I couldn't understand. I couldn't get off of it. They kept telling me I needed them. I needed something to balance out my chemistry. But I don't feel as though I need it. I think I manage fair enough on my own. And yet everyone tells me that I'm insane. Everyone says that I'm too much to handle. I'm too dramatic. Well, of course I'm dramatic. Of course, because nobody's listening to me. What influx do you need in my tone? What do you need? How much information do you need in order to figure out something, to help another individual, another human? Apparently I'm not human. Apparently I have something's the matter with me. And that's completely confusing. Completely confusing. I can't understand it. Go eat your pudding. Your pudding. Anyway. But yeah, so I hope everyone has a blessed day. Today's May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Time to siesta, then fiesta. Num num. I wish I had, this baby's probably going to have so much fun. To have a weird, strange mother like me. My daughter always had so much fun. That's why she never had tantrums. She never acted out. I don't really... I love the British. I need to practice more in my Spanish too. Se oye bien, pero no tengo con nadie para practicar. Entonces hay muchas palabras que no uso porque no lo puedo como... Sí, hay muchas palabras que no puedo decir. Y sí, se oye bien, pero hay unos tiempos que no me puede como... I can't even think of the words. I need to practice more. I just need to engage with people. Then maybe I would have a life. Maybe I would have, and it's not even about just having fun, but really it kind of is, because I've had way too much stress in my life. I don't need any more. Don't talk to me about jobs. Don't talk to me about this and that. Eventually God will bless me. Hopefully. Dios is always around us. Dios es en todos los lugares, en todos los playas, pues no quiero decir playas, a las lugares. Hay muchas personas que no entienden eso. Dios es entre las personas también que ayudan. So I just feel like there are some times where I can't get my point across and nobody's understanding, nobody's listening, and that brings me back to the 12-year-old me when I commit suicide. And it's obviously, it makes perfect sense. So I'm gonna go in. I have a 15% off coupon. I didn't see that it stipulated it couldn't be covered underneath clearance or discounted items, so I'm hopeful that I'll find another tank top or something that I can wear during this pregnancy, because I'm completely bloated. I'm completely hormonal, and this belly is just gigantic. I can't seem to get rid of it. It just won't go away. All the exercise, all the food, all the healthy nutrition that I eat, the times that I fasted, I just can't seem to get rid of it. Apparently it's not going anywhere for a while. 6 months along already? What? Anyway, okay. Anyway, today's May 5th, 2022. Leticia Collins Servin. I hope everybody's having a good day, and I love you very much. I wish people would stop taking my words out of context and my videos and stop being weird. Go do it to the other people. Go find information about them and publicize them. That would be what's beneficial and helpful to the world. Not your nonsense of bullying me. What's that gonna do? Make me laugh at you. That's all. I don't even convey this shit. Somebody left voicemails. Deleted them. That was like 2-3 minutes on one of them. Who sits there for that long just berating someone? Get over yourself. Berating someone. Enunciation, pronunciation. I'm so sorry that I used the word voxing and it was technically doxing. Oh, pardon me. Pardon me. I have so much stress going about my day, barely surviving, trying to maintain, to stay away from all these other homeless people that are on drugs or on some type of crazy medication. No, thank you. That's why I'm very avoidant of everyone, even my own family. If you could call them that. I get more of a response from strangers, more affection, more acceptance from strangers than I do my own family. They hate me, and for reasons that I can't understand, because I haven't done anything aside from being a proper human being, a caring and loving person. I can't do it anymore. Okay, I need to practice more. It would be so lovely to walk around in England and have no one understand where I come from. Just blend in somewhere else. Like Catch Me If You Can. That's what I should do. Just get a plane ticket and just leave. Like, that's it. Go give birth somewhere else and just be like, ah, fuck it. This is my life now. That's how it goes. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. Anyway, I love you guys. Have a good day. I hope everybody's well and has eaten well and had plenty to drink and sleep and everything. I got sleep, so I feel better. I probably even like look better in that way of being so less haggard. Hagrid. Did you know? We go down to the, what is it? I don't know. I can't even think. I was watching some video of Hermione earlier. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. So weird. Why am I so weird? I don't know. I just don't understand it myself. Where do you come from? Where do you stem from? Apparently not Earth. You are deranged. You're an alien. Some type of extraterrestrial being. I suppose. No, I'm just playing. I'm human. At least I think so. I think so. I like how the skin is starting to retract fairly well down here. I mean, you should have seen all the... There's a good video clip for you. I used to hate to see myself. I thought, what is that? That is disgusting. You look ugly. And then I was just like, whatever. Do what you gotta do. Some people like you, some people don't. And fuck them if they don't. Exactly. Fuck them if they don't. Bye. I love you.